everybody, Marlene, aka Snow Gardener 307. We are here today for an amazing soup recipe, you guys. You're gonna love this one. This is gonna be one that you want to have in a rotation. One of the things I love about it is a crock pot soup recipe. So let me tell you guys what, I've got the recipe right here. It is a creamy chicken wild rice soup. I followed the directions exactly. This is from a Little Spice Jar. I will go ahead and add the information down below. And last night, you guys, I went ahead and took the time to do a batch of our no knead bread. So that is sitting on the stove. It's been sitting there. I think I made that bread about 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's been sitting there probably for about 10 or 11 hours. So we're gonna let it sit for a little bit longer. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the recipe. Here we are, you guys, in my kitchen. We are starting our soup recipe out. In my crock pot, I am adding chicken broth, and I should have shook that up first. What was I thinking? Chicken broth. This is my home canned chicken broth, and I have 6 pints of that, which is about 6 cups. I've also got a little bit of water that's going to go in the recipe too, and I didn't do a good job at shaking that jar or another jar, so we're going to go ahead and get all of that yumminess out. So we have got 8 cups of liquid going in with 1 pound of chicken, and that is the base of our soup recipe. Next, we're going to go ahead and add some seasonings, and then I'm going to chop up some vegetables. We're going to add them in there. We're going to go ahead and add some garlic. You guys, this is the pre-minced garlic already that I get from Walmart, or from Sam's Club, I should say. And so I did 2 heaping tablespoons of that. I'm going to get that off, but I don't want to touch it with my fingers because we're going to be doing spices next. There we go. We're going to go ahead and add in a couple bay leaves. And of course, with the bay leaves, as most of you guys know, you want to make sure they're big enough to where you can pull them out. So we've got 2 bay leaves. And then, you guys, I said in the intro that I was going to follow this exactly as the recipe said, but I realized I don't. I don't actually have any Mrs. Dash, and that's what it calls for. It calls for 2 tablespoons of salt-free seasoning blend, such as Trader Joe's 21 Seasoning Salute or Mrs. Dash Original. So we're just going to make up some seasonings. We've got some of this Kinder's, which we absolutely love, and it's salt, pepper, and garlic. Now, for us, we don't care if this is low sodium or not. I'm going to go ahead and add a heaping ½ tablespoon of that. Then we're just going to go ahead and add a hodgepodge of ingredients to it now. We're going to go ahead and add some parsley to this. We're going to go ahead and do probably a heaping tablespoon or so. This is just a ½ tablespoon. I don't want too many. So maybe a tablespoon and a half of dried parsley. And I've got some celery salt here. I'm going to go ahead and add in a quarter of a teaspoon to my crock pot there. We're going to add some Italian seasoning. I don't want too much Italian because, of course, this is not an Italian soup, but the Italian seasoning has a great flavor to it. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to do a heaping tablespoon or a quarter tablespoon. We're going to go ahead and add some cumin. We're also going to add a little bit of cayenne. Nothing too crazy. We're not going to make this too hot or anything like that. So quarter of a teaspoon, and you guys, this makes a full crock pot of soup, so you will not be too hot or anything like that. Cumin, we're going to go ahead and add about a ½ of a teaspoon. So that is our spices. Now we're going to go ahead and get some vegetables chopped up. This recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of celery and carrots. I'm going to put my ends and pieces into a little bowl here, and then I'm actually going to put these in the freezer to be used in my next batch of chicken broth. As I said, I need to do some chicken broth. So we're just going to go ahead and do a chop on this. It does not have to be perfect. Of course, ideally it should be similar in size because it is going in a soup. But let's go ahead and chop up the celery. I don't bother measuring my vegetables. This, of course, looks like it's actually more than what I need, but I love lots of vegetables in my soup, and this is how I've always done it, and it always works out well for me. Now we're going to go ahead and add in a medium onion, and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put my ends and pieces into my bowl, including the onion skins. And let's see. Oh, good. That onion is good. My store lately, the onions have been pretty dang scary. Have any of you guys been dealing with this type of issue? Let me know down below. Next, we've got a couple carrots. I'm going to go ahead and peel these carrots, put this into my bowl as well. You guys, all of this can go into chicken stock. You don't need to buy vegetables specifically to put in your stock. It could be veggie stock, chicken stock, whatever. That is one of my goals this month, is to get some stock done. Now, it's going to depend on what I've got, because I don't know what I've got in my freezer. I don't believe I have a whole chicken or anything in there to make stock. I do have a turkey in there, but it isn't in the plans for this month. So we'll have to see if I can come up with something within my budget that doesn't break the rules of the Three Rivers Challenge. If you're not familiar what I'm talking about, I am doing a challenge that Jessica with Three Rivers Homestead puts on, and it's where you use what you got, basically. And I love Jessica because she is so real. She is a stay-at-home mom that does all the things and stuff. She homeschools, she does all of that. And now, while I'm out of that point in my life with having young children at home, I still love watching her cook, her can. She does baking. She does all the things and stuff. So if you guys are interested in doing a no-spend type challenge, make sure you go check that out. Join us in the Three Rivers Challenge. So these are our carrots. I have 3 pieces of carrots sitting off to the side. That's kind of like the cheese tax, but it is the carrot tax. The Yorkies are sitting here watching me cook. So I'm going to go ahead and feed those to them because they love carrots. And of course, carrots are great for them. We're also going to rinse our rice. So let's go ahead. I'll show you guys the Yorkies because if you watch my Vlogmas, everybody's like, we need more Yorkies. I'll show you guys the Yorkies. We'll go ahead and get our rice done. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about the soup and it's going to get cooking. Right here. Sit. Sit. Zeus. Show YouTube you have manners. Sit. Stay. 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 There goes Athena getting excited. That's Athena, Zeus, Loki, and Zeus. And they love their carrots. Look at you guys. I still have my little Grinch slippers on. All right, let's go ahead and rinse our rice. This is 1 cup of wild rice blend. We're going to go ahead and add that in. Get as much of that in there as we can. We don't want to waste it. Maybe even bang it a little bit. And you guys, this is our soup base. So we've got this. I'm just going to stir this up. We're going to go ahead and put this in the crock pot. Well, it's in the crock pot already, but we're going to take this and put it into the base of the crock pot. And we are going to let this cook on high because I am starting this a little bit later in the day. So the recipe, like I said, will be down below. But the recipe says that you cook this on high for 3 to 4 hours or on low until 7 to 8. So I will see you guys back probably in about 3 to 4 hours. All right, you guys, here we are. I was supposed to turn this to low before I went to get my eyelashes done, and I forgot to do it. So I need to see. Oh, you guys got all steamy. You guys can't even see that. Let me back up a little bit. Here is what our soup looks like. Our chicken is still whole. We're going to take that out, shred it, and then you guys, I want to really quick taste this rice and see if it's done. Normally, you pull the chicken out, and then you continue to cook this until the rice is done because wild rice takes a little bit longer. Let me taste it though. That is perfect. I was afraid it was going to be too gummy, but whew, we did okay there. So let me go ahead and take the chicken out and shred it really quick. And then you guys, I'm going to put this on just warm because my husband is not going to be home for a while. And I don't want to do the last steps of it until I know that he's going to be home. Because we're going to go ahead and make a butter flour mixture that we're going to go ahead and add into this, add some milk into it. And then, of course, we're going to have our creamy soup. I got the chicken all shredded up. And it is a little bit overcooked. And this is my bad for leaving it in there. We're going to go ahead and just slide that on in to our soup and all over the counter apparently, because that's how I roll. We're going to go ahead and put this in here. Now you can add more chicken if you want. It calls for a pound, and that's exactly what I have in here this time. So that is our chicken in our soup. We still need to add the cream element to it. We are also going to salt and pepper this to taste still too. I'm going to go ahead and get the bread going. I'm not going to show you guys that because I've done it on my channel before. I will show you guys the end result, but I will bring you back to finish this soup off. Let's go ahead and finish our soup off. Don't mind my dirty stove if you guys see it. This is what it looks like when you actually cook in your kitchen, I think. I wish my stove was always clean, but it's not. We're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to take 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, the recipe does say that you can do all butter, but I've done it with the olive oil and the butter together, and I really like the flavor that you end up with the 2 of them mixed. So we're going to go ahead and let this melt. And then we're going to go ahead and incorporate some flour and create a roux. All right, you guys, this is just about melted down. And so I'm going to go ahead and add a 1/2 cup of flour in here. And I'm going to go ahead and whisk it together. And then I'm going to let this mixture cook for 1 minute. So we'll get it all mixed together. We'll let it cook for 1 minute. And of course this helps with that undercooked flour taste. We don't want that undercooked flour. I don't worry too bad about it being exactly a minute, but we'll be back in about a minute. Okay, we're going to go ahead and slowly incorporate this milk in here. We want to make sure that we don't have any... Did you guys see me spill milk all over the stove? We want to make sure that we don't have any lumps in here. And this is not the cup I normally would use, and I should have grabbed out my actual liquid measuring cup for pouring reasons. But hey, like you guys know, always keeping it real here on my channel. And my mom always said a messy cook is a good cook, right? She also always said don't ever trust a skinny cook. Hopefully those of you guys that are skinny don't take offense to that. We're going to go ahead and let this milk come up to temperature and make sure we don't have a bunch of lumps in here. Then we're going to go ahead and add it into our soup, you guys, and our soup is going to be done. That bread smells so good when it's cooking, though. All right, you guys, I have got my roux all done. Hopefully it's not lumpy because I'm filming for YouTube, because it seems like if stuff is going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong when I film for YouTube. So we're going to go ahead and add this into our soup. And of course it's lumpy. Oh, well. That just means it's homemade, right? Hey, it'll be just fine because this is still going to cook a little bit longer while I am finishing up the bread. And you guys, oh my goodness, the bread smells so yummy. And of course, we're going to go ahead and pull those bay leaves out. Let's go ahead and do that right now because I just saw both of them. Pull 1 and 2. That was pretty stinking easy, you guys. Get those pulled out. We'll get this mixed together. Look at the soup, you guys. Oh my gosh, it is so yummy. It is such an amazing winter soup to eat with a piece of crusty homemade bread. Just delicious. Here is our bread fresh out of the oven. You guys, I will include this recipe down below. It is so easy. The main thing that you've got to do is you've got to think about it the night before. And this is so easy that there's been times that I've went to work at the sheriff's office, forgot to do it, and asked my husband to do it. And all you do is just mix all the ingredients together and leave it sitting on the counter covered up. So easy peasy, you guys. So our soup is all ready to eat. Look at that. We're going to go ahead and do some yummy, delicious bread with it. Editing Marlene here, I realized I didn't do an outro for this video. This is my bowl of soup and bread, you guys. It was absolutely delicious. I hope you try it. Make sure you check down below for the recipe. And until I see you guys next time, remember to keep on smiling.